You say a certain word, walk maybe, or treat, and your dog does the thing. That impossibly cute little head tilt. Ears up, eyes locked on you, head cocked to one side. It might be the most adorable thing dogs do. And for the longest time, nobody actually knew why they did it. But here's the surprising part. Recent science suggests that little tilt might not just be cute. It could be a visible sign of your dog's brain hard at work, actually understanding you, recalling a memory, and in some dogs a clue that they're especially smart. So today, let's finally answer it. Why does your dog tilt its head? We've got 3 real theories, one genuinely mind-blowing study, and one health sign you should never ignore. Let's get into it. Let's clear one thing up first. That head tilt is not a random twitch, and it's not just your dog being confused. Notice when it happens. It happens when your dog is engaging with you. When you talk to it, when you use a word it knows, when it's paying close attention. The tilt is a response. In other words, your dog is actively trying to understand you. It's a moment of connection and concentration, your dog leaning in, working to get more information out of what you're saying or doing. And that alone is a lovely reframe. When your dog tilts, it isn't lost or puzzled in a helpless way. It's doing the opposite. It's locked on, focused, and actively working to decode you. Far from a blank stare, that tilt is one of the clearest signs that your dog cares about what you're saying and is trying hard to keep up. So the real question isn't, why is my dog being silly? It's, what exactly is my dog trying to get by tilting? And it turns out scientists have 3 strong answers. Some of it is about hearing you better. Some of it is about seeing you better. And the most exciting part is about understanding you. Let's take them one at a time, starting with those floppy ears. The first theory is all about sound. Dogs have incredible hearing, far better than ours in many ways. But there's a catch built into a lot of dogs, their ear flaps. Those floppy, adorable ears, like our beagle friend has, actually get in the way. A dog's ear flap, called the pinna, can partly or even completely cover the ear canal, muffling sound. So one idea is that when a dog tilts its head, it's adjusting those flaps to let sound in more clearly and to pinpoint exactly where a sound is coming from. By changing the angle of its head and ears, a dog can fine-tune its hearing, a little like how we might turn our head or cup a hand behind our ear to catch something better. There's a fascinating detail here, too. Vets point out that different ear shapes create different challenges. A dog with heavy, fully dropped ears, like a cocker spaniel, has more sound interference than a dog with upright ears. So this theory makes real sense, especially for our floppy-eared friends, and it lines up with something you may have noticed yourself. Watch a dog when a strange or interesting noise happens, a squeaky toy, a distant doorbell, and you'll often see the head tilt and the ears swivel together, hunting for the source. That combination, ears and head moving as a team, is a strong hint that at least part of this behavior really is about capturing sound as clearly as possible. But it doesn't explain everything, because it turns out even pointy-eared dogs tilt, which brings us to the second theory. And this one is about their eyes. Here's a theory you might never have considered. Dogs tilt their heads to see us better, and specifically to see our faces. Think about the shape of a dog's head. That lovely long snout, that muzzle, sits right in the lower part of its field of view. And it can actually block the bottom of what the dog sees, like a permanent visor. So when your dog wants a clear look at your face, especially your mouth and your eyes, tilting its head may swing that muzzle out of the way and open up the view. And here's the clever part. Our faces are where we do our talking and our emoting. Dogs are incredible at reading human facial expressions. In fact, research has shown dogs pay special attention to the left side of our faces, the side that tends to show our true emotions most clearly, something even we humans do without realizing it. Your dog is reading you more carefully than you probably think, and a clear view of your face is precious to it. So getting a clear, unblocked look at your face helps your dog read your mood and understand you. This isn't just a guess either. The psychologist Stanley Coren ran a survey of thousands of dog owners and found something telling. Dogs with big, long muzzles, the ones whose snouts block more of their vision, tilted their heads noticeably more often than flat-faced breeds like pugs, whose short faces don't get in the way as much. That fits the theory beautifully. More muzzle to see around, more tilting. So, hearing you better, seeing you better. But the newest and coolest, science suggests something deeper is going on inside that tilted little head. Something about actual understanding. This is the shareable part, the study that made headlines, and it's genuinely wonderful. In 2021, researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Hungary, led by Andrea Samis, were actually studying something else. Gifted word learner dogs. These are rare, exceptional dogs, often border collies, that can learn the names of dozens of individual toys. One dog in related research, named Whiskey, could recognize over 50 toys by name. To put that in perspective, most dogs struggle to reliably learn the names of even 2 toys. These gifted few are the true geniuses of the dog world, the canine equivalent of a person who can memorize 100 names at a party. And they were about to reveal a secret hiding in plain sight. And while running these tests, the scientists noticed something by accident. When the owner said the name of a specific toy, "Bring me the bunny," these gifted dogs would tilt their heads right before running off to fetch the correct one. So they looked closer, and the numbers were striking. The gifted word learner dogs tilted their heads about 43% of the time when asked to fetch a toy by name. The typical dogs, just 2%. That is a massive difference. And here's the detail that really cracks it open. Each dog had a favorite side, always tilting the same way, just like we each favor a right or left hand. And crucially, the direction didn't change based on where the owner was standing. Now think about what that means. If the tilt were only about locating a sound, the dog would tilt toward wherever the voice was coming from. But it didn't. It tilted the same way every time. So this isn't just about hearing the sound. The researchers believe the tilt is a visible sign of deep concentration, the dog hearing a meaningful word and cross-referencing it with a memory, matching the word bunny to its mental image of the actual bunny toy. Samis compares it to how we humans tilt our heads when we're concentrating hard or trying to recall something. There's something genuinely moving about that idea. It means the tilt might be a rare, visible window into an invisible act, a thought. We almost never get to see an animal think. But if Samis is right, every time your dog cocks its head at a word it knows, you are watching its mind reach into its memory and pull out a picture. The cutest thing your dog does might also be one of the most intelligent. So when your dog tilts at "wanna go for a walk," it may literally be pulling up its happy memory of walks. That tilt could be the look of your dog thinking. And that raises a fun question. Does more tilting mean a smarter dog? So if the gifted dogs tilted more, does that mean a dog that tilts a lot is a genius, and a dog that never tilts isn't? Let's be careful and honest here, because this is where people overread the science. The study found a link between tilting and these specially gifted dogs. But it does not mean your dog is unintelligent if it rarely tilts. Not at all. What the tilt more likely shows is engagement and attention, your dog actively processing something meaningful to it. Plenty of very smart dogs show their focus in other ways. Think of it like people in a classroom. Some students lean forward and nod when they're concentrating. Others sit perfectly still and absorb every word. You could never rank their intelligence just by how much they nod. The head tilt is one dog's way of showing it's switched on, but a calm, still dog can be paying just as much attention in its own style. And remember the other theories. A flat-faced dog might tilt less simply because its short muzzle doesn't block its view, not because it's less clever. So please don't turn this into a genius test for your dog. The nicer, truer takeaway is this. When your dog tilts, it's a sign it's tuned into you, engaged, listening, and trying to understand. It's a little moment of connection. And you can actually use that. Which brings us to something practical you can try tonight. But first, the serious part. because sometimes a head tilt is not about cuteness at all. Here's something every dog owner needs to know because it genuinely matters. There's a huge difference between the happy, communicative head tilt we've been talking about and a persistent, involuntary head tilt. And knowing the difference is important. This is general awareness, not a substitute for your vet, but please keep it in mind. The tilt we've been celebrating happens in response to you during a moment of interaction, and then the dog straightens up and carries on normally. That's healthy. The warning sign is completely different. It's when a dog holds its head tilted to one side all the time, constantly, even when nothing is going on, when nobody's talking to it. That is not communication. That can be a medical sign. A constant head tilt, especially with other symptoms, can point to several things. An ear infection, which is very common and can affect balance, or a condition of the balance system called vestibular disease. With these, you'll often see other signs alongside the tilt: a loss of balance, stumbling or walking in circles, or the eyes flicking rapidly back and forth. So here's your simple rule. A head tilt that happens when you talk to your dog and then relaxes is the cute, healthy kind. A head tilt your dog holds constantly, on its own, especially with wobbliness or eye flicking, is a reason to call your vet promptly. You know your dog's normal. Trust that. Now let's end on the fun part. So how do you use all this? The best takeaway is a lovely one. Talk to your dog more. Since the head tilt is tied to attention and understanding, engaging with your dog in the ways that trigger it is genuinely good for its mind and your bond. Here are a few fun things to try. Use the words your dog loves: walk, treat, ball, in a happy, engaged voice, and enjoy watching it light up and tilt. Even better, play a naming game. Pick one toy, use its name over and over during play. Get your ball, where's the ball? And you may slowly teach your dog to link that word to that object, building the very skill those gifted dogs are famous for. Talk to your dog during everyday life, narrate your walks, and use its name and familiar words often. It might feel a little silly at first, chatting away to a dog as you tidy the house or walk down the street. But your dog is soaking up far more than we give it credit for, learning the rhythm of your voice, the words that matter, and the patterns of your day. You're not just being silly. You're engaging its mind, strengthening your communication, and deepening your bond. And every time it tilts its head back at you, you'll know you're looking at a dog that is genuinely trying to understand you. And honestly, is there anything better than that? So the next time your dog tilts its head at you, you'll know it's so much more than a cute pose. It's your dog adjusting its floppy ears to hear you. It's your dog seeing past its own muzzle to read your face. And most wonderfully, it may be your dog concentrating, understanding, and reaching for a memory, all because you spoke to it. That tilt is your dog saying, "I'm listening. I'm trying to understand you." And that might be the sweetest thing about sharing your life with a dog. If you love understanding what your dog is really telling you, backed by real science, subscribe. Every week we decode another one of your dog's adorable mysteries. See you in the next one.